Good morning, everybody. Thanks for jumping on with me this fine Saturday morning. My name is Jeremy Jenkins. I'm one of the trainers here, and it's my pleasure, as always, to be able to share with you some of the wisdom that I've been able to get over the last 20 plus years of doing network marketing and affiliate marketing and everything else. So today we're going to continue our series of the 10 steps to success. So far, we've already covered the first three. So we covered the first one, which was all about defining your why and what it is that motivates you and why you're here, what it is you want to achieve. Then we talked about the second step, which is creating your list and creating a way to find more people to talk to and to introduce into the opportunity. And then last time we talked about setting goals and how to set appropriate goals, how to achieve them, and why they're so important. So today we're going to talk about step number 4, which is all about commitment. Okay, so let's get started with this. Commitment is all about the motivation, right? It's the motivation that gets you started, but then it's the commitment that keeps you going. Right? That's really what it's all about. Too many people that I know get started with their business and they're excited and they're gung ho and they're ready for the first month or 2 months, right? But then it starts to get a little bit harder. It starts to, you run out of your warm list, right? You get to a point where now you actually have to start contacting more people. You have to actually step it up on the leadership scale and work with your people and help them to duplicate what you're doing. So it gets a little bit tougher, it gets a little bit harder. And some people, they end up dropping out, right? Because that's the way this works, right? It's a scaling thing where your first month you'll make a certain amount, right? $100, $500, whatever it is. Then your second month, to get it to keep going, right? Okay, I want $1,000, then I want $10,000, so on. It takes time. You can't expect to make six-figure income in your first 30 days or your first 60 days even, right? It takes some time because you got to keep that motor going. Okay, so yeah, the motivation gets you started, but the commitment is what keeps you going. And why commitment? Well, think of it like a marriage promise, right? I promise to be faithful, to love you, to take care of you, and to respect you in good and evil, in poverty and wealth, right? In sickness and in health, every day of my life. So, wow. You mean we're actually marrying ourselves to our business, right? In a way, yeah, that's what it takes because you've got to be there in the good times and the bad. You got to keep going even when you're sick, even when things are not going as well as you like, right? Even when some of your top leaders that you invited decides to quit and go somewhere else, even when you had an amazing month and then the next month it drops in half, right? And your commissions aren't near what you thought they'd be. You got to keep going. Good times, bad times, sickness and health. You got to stick with it. And I would say even say I'm going to be here a year from now, right? Because you can't really get a company or your business going in just your first month or two. It's just no that I mean there's so many factors that can happen. Their markets are up and down, right? It could be the timing of the year, right? Oh, school just started, or oh, it's certain, like Christmas time or whatever, right? And so people, and there's always going to be an excuse. There's always going to be ups and downs. There's always going to be different people doing different things. And so if you don't give it at least a year, then, you're just fooling yourself, right? It takes time. It takes time to really get it up and going unless you've already got a huge following and you can just jump in and say, hey, we're doing this, right? And you put in 1,000 people in your first 90 days. Well, then, okay, yeah, it can be done. But normal people, normal average individuals, it's going to take some time, right? And so you set your goals, you talk to a certain amount of people, you say, I'm going to get 3, I'm going to get 4, I'm going to get 5 people. They're going to be my directs and we're going to work it. And you treat it with that kind of commitment and you expect that from them. You expect them to also be committed, right? Like, hey, I'm going to sign you up. I'm going to put you in, but I need you to be here for a year, right? Let's do this. Like not, don't I don't want you to all of a sudden come to me in 2 months from now and go, I can't do it anymore. Oh, like my spouse is giving me fits, and I don't know if I can afford it, and all the results weren't as good as I thought, and so I'm going to drop out. No, none of that, right? If you want to be successful, if you want to have financial freedom, if you want to have time freedom, that's what we're looking for here. You got to put in the effort and the time. But you can't just say, "Oh, I'm going to be here, for a year," and not do anything either, right? I mean, it's like you got to do it. You got to do it. Now, you probably want to push more during the first 90 days, but you got to then stick around and be part of it and be have it ongoing. Because what happens with most people is they don't treat it as seriously like a marriage, right, or a promise. And they'll treat it like a hobby, right? Okay, yeah, I'll get in, I'll give it a try, I'll see how it goes, see if I like it, okay. And then a month or two later, they're gone. Why? Because they're not willing to put in the effort, right? They're not willing to commit. And so they'll, jump. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll go check out the next big thing out there. Oh, yeah, I'll come to this one. I'll go to that one. And, and now they're so distracted that they never give whatever they're doing enough time to actually go, right? And you go back to the whole thing of the law of the harvest. And it's like saying, hey, I'm going to go plant these seeds. And, in a month or two later, they're still, they're barely sprouting maybe or whatever. And you're like, they didn't give me the fruit I wanted, right? It didn't give me the vegetable I was looking for. That's terrible. I'm giving up. I'm not going to water it anymore. I'm not going to fertilize it anymore. I'm just going to move on. I'm going to plant something else somewhere else, right? And then that starts to grow. But it's like, no, you have to wait for it to give fruit. The time of planting in spring and then harvesting in the fall, right? You got to do that. You got to give it time. You got to water it. You got to sustain it. You got to keep it going. And that's what it's all about. So it's a promise, right? Good times and bad, you're going to be doing it. Okay. So here's a confession, right? I love my business, and love is commitment, right? And it requires me to be involved, right? So I ask, am I committed or am I just involved, right? So it's like this little card here says, please be aware that I am totally committed to remaining fully uncommitted to commitment. No, we don't want that, right? That's not us. No, we need to know, are we actually committed or are we just involved, right? Are we just kind of there? Well, here's the hint. This morning, before preparing for this meeting, so I sat down to breakfast and, hey, there's the following food on my plate, right? Got some bacon and some eggs. Okay. So before eating, I kept thinking, and I told my wife, hey, there are two animals represented here. Which animal do you think is the one that is involved and which one is actually committed, right? So, of course, she looks me in the eye, and despite the timing and the situation, she tells me without hesitation and with affection, right? Well, the chicken is involved, right? Gives us the eggs, but the pig is committed, right? The pig's the one that gave it all. So, which one are you? We want to be the pig, right? Are we just involved where, they force you, or you always have to be encouraged to do certain things? And then when you finish it, you just move on, right? Because you don't feel involved in the project? Or are you committed? You are excited to do something. You do it because you feel involved to the fullest, and you stop doing it only when you decide to stop, right? We got to do that. We got to be at that level of committed. Okay. So here's my personal declaration. I, Jeremy Jenkins, am committed to my business. How about you? Are you committed? So what does that mean? Here's some things that I've come up with that I would say, you got to be doing, right? You got to be doing to show your commitment. So I would say, go into a weekly meeting. Okay. So yeah, it means showing up. It means coming to either Saturday training, or one of the during the week trainings, or one of the opportunity meetings. Just something. Okay, something at least once a week. Now, obviously, it's best if you can come more, right? If you can come, I mean, there's stuff every day, pretty much, that you could go to. But if you could commit to at least a weekly meeting, right? Just be there somehow, some way involved in the meeting. And then a monthly event. Now, there might not always be a monthly event per se, right? Just it kind of depends on the time of year and what's going on and stuff. But most of the time there's something bigger, right? Something kind of going on. There might be a Super Saturday or some kind of corporate event or something, right? Sometimes it's every other month or whatever. But the idea is you want to be part of the bigger events that are going on around you, right? Not just the quick overview meetings or the quick trainings or whatever, but the actual bigger type um, you know uh, events or meetings that are going on, right? You got to go to those. You got to be part of them. Okay, because that's where you're going to get all the little nuggets, all the tidbits. That's what they're for, is to give you all the training and the experience and the wisdom all the leaders have, and they share it with you. And sometimes corporate will share announcements and things. So yeah, you got to go to these monthly events. Okay, and then of course doing at least one Zoom call per week. Now, what I'm talking about here is like a personal one, right, for you and your team. Okay, so you're attending the one meeting, that whether that's a corporate one or a team one for from your sponsor, your upline, right? But then do your own Zoom call per week. Okay. And, or it doesn't have to be Zoom, whatever you use, but yeah, you personally, as a leader, you need to do your own. You need to do your own call, your own update, whatever, right, with your team. That is so important because that's what makes you a leader. Honestly, it's there's a lot of things that you got to be doing as a leader for sure. But in the end, it's defining. Oh, what in my mind, if I see somebody that has their own call, has their own Zoom, I know they're stepping it up, right? I see them and I go, oh, okay, yeah, they're a leader because they're putting on their own event. They're putting on their own meeting. They're defining themselves as somebody who's leading a group. Okay, so that's what needs to happen, right? You go to your own upline or your own leaders event for sure. You go to the monthly ones, and then you do your own. Okay, you do at least one Zoom call per week for your own team, right? So they see you leading, they see you involved, they see you engaged. That's what define it. And what happens is people, when they see you actually leading, they'll be more committed, right? They'll commit themselves. They'll say, oh wow, my sponsor is actually excited. My sponsor is actually involved. My sponsor is actually doing things. I have a resource. I have a place to go where if I have questions, or I have something that if I need a three-way call, or I need an opportunity overview or whatever, I know who to go to. Right? I go to my leader. Oh yeah, my leader is doing a call once per week. Okay, and I plug into that. Right? You got to do that. If you personally brought in 3, 4, 5 people, they depend on you, right? They depend on you to lead. Now, of course, you can plug them into your leaders group, and stuff too. But and this Zoom call per week, what I'm talking about here is a more one on, it's not one on one, but it's more of an intimate, right? This is a, hey, let's get together, let's talk as leaders, as our group, right, and figure out what we're going to do. Let's set some goals together. Let's go over some of the announcements and recap kind of what's going on and where we're at, and that kind of thing, right? That's how you stay committed and you get your team to stay committed, by doing your own team call. And I go as far as to say, give your team a name. right? I mean, it gives people a sense of identity. Like, oh, I belong to team whatever, right? And it's like mine, team Kaizen, right? I use that word. I love that word. Kaizen is a Japanese word of all about personal development. And so that's the name I gave my team, so they can know, oh, okay, I'm part of Jeremy's team. I'm part of Team Kaizen. Oh, that's great, right? Do that. Give it a name, so that people know who's the leader and where they belong and all that. It's a family, right? Hey, I'm part of this family, and it keeps people motivated and engaged. Okay, all right. So be contacting daily, right? Now, this I'm talking about not just prospecting, right? But I'm talking about with your team as well. So yes, you need to set your goals and decide, okay, I'm going to prospect to a certain amount of people every day. Of course, introduce it, send a video, send a message, whatever, see what they're doing. Share some of your results. Do like we talked about in step number 2, be the lighthouse, right? Shine your light out there and get involved on social media. Post things on Twitter, post things on Facebook, and just get it out there. Right? Hey, these are the results I had this week. Hey, this is what I'm doing. Hey, let's welcome so and so. Hey, congrats to whoever because they just hit a certain rank. Just get it out there. Be contacting daily. Okay. Now, contacting could mean that. It could mean just posting something, right? Where people see it in a group, in a Telegram, wherever you're contacting, doesn't matter. I suggest multiple, but as many as you can, and be contacting daily, both prospecting, but also with your team, right? And your leaders, and tell them, hey, this is what we're doing. Hey, did you see the invite for that Zoom they're doing tomorrow? Hey, did you see we're doing a Super Saturday coming up? Hey, did you see all the different things that are going on? And strategize and plan with them and talk to them. Keep them engaged, right? Get them involved, and you'll see how awesome you'll start seeing people actually participate. You'll see people actually start having results because of you, and that's what leaders do, is they make sure that their team is having success, right? They pass the information on, but they also motivate, they inspire, and they hold accountable, right? And hey, let's set some goals. Hey, did you hit your goal? Did you talk to a certain amount of people every day? And what's going on, right? That's what I'm talking about with daily contacting. Okay. Then, of course, you want daily personal development. And this is an important one because we need to keep refining our skills, right? In the 7 habits of highly effective people, we talk about sharpening the saw, right? That's one of the 7 habits, is sharpening the saw. You got to always be up to date on the latest and greatest stuff, right? You need to know what to say and how to respond when people have concerns, or if they come at you with the, hey, was this a pyramid scheme kind of thing, right? How do you respond to that stuff? You learn all of these techniques. You learn the dialogue. You learn how to have posturing. You learn all that stuff so that you can answer questions and be confident when you're talking to people, because you've read these books, you've listened to these audios, you watched them on YouTube or whatever source you like best, and you can pretty much get all of this stuff in every format known to man, right? So there's no excuse to not have this information, right? It needs to be in your brain, in your heart, in your mind, so that you can be that $1 million person, like Jim Rohn says. And this is so important that it's actually step number 5, right? So next week, that's what we're going to talk about, is a whole thing on personal development and what it means. But this is super key to do as well every single day. That's how you commit, right? Is through your personal development. Okay, then we're going to be a product of the product, right? Now, what does that mean? Well, it means actually using the product, right? It means, hey, yeah, you know what? I had some great results, right, with my investment account. Hey, I had some great results, with maybe the travel portal, right? I saved this much money, when I went to travel. Oh, that's great, and because it's fun to be able to share other people's results and say, oh yeah, I know a guy who made this much money, doing this and that, and he actually saved that much on his trip to wherever, right? And that's cool, but nothing beats doing it yourself, right? It's like you have your own story, and then now you can actually say, yeah, I actually did it, right? I actually had those results. I actually, put money into this and did these, set it all up so that I could earn here, and boom, it worked, right? I was able to have some amazing results with my, put my money to work for me. Oh yeah, I actually, let's say you just want to take a weekend, right? And you don't have to travel across the world, right, to use the travel. You just go somewhere local, right? Just to prove the point, right? Just to have an experience. And so, you just say, hey, you know what? Let's go take a weekend. Let's just go, to downtown and stay in a hotel, and and relax, or go up in the mountains and stay in a place, or somewhere nearby. It doesn't have to be, oh, I'm going to travel to Mexico, or I'm going to travel to New York or whatever. No, just stay at one of the places close by, show how it worked, how you save money using the portal and everything. And so you have an experience you can share with people, and they ask, oh, does that work? Oh yeah, it works. I did this. Oh, cool. Right. It doesn't have to be like extravagant. It just that it worked. Okay. And away you go. Right. So yeah, it works. I was able to do it. And with the e-commerce coming, hey, yeah, I was able to save some money on shopping online, whatever. And there's just so many ways we're able to be products of the product and share with people, how we're saving money, how we're making money, how, this is an amazing platform. It's got everything you ever wanted, and just have those personal testimonials of how the product works. Okay. And then, of course, you got to treat it like a business, right? Lisa Satora said, treat your business like a business and it will pay you like a business. But if you treat your business like a hobby, it will cost you like a hobby. Now, I don't know about you, but personally, I like to play golf, right? That's kind of one of my hobbies. And I like that example because it's true, right? I mean, I play golf and I spend a lot of money. I buy my clubs, I get my special golf shoes, right? I go spend money to pay or play all these different courses because it's fun. I enjoy it. Not super good. I mean, I'm okay, but wouldn't it be nice if they paid me to play golf, right? What if I could be a Tiger Woods or one of those guys? Oh yeah, now you get to have all the toys and you get to enjoy it and go play at some of the most beautiful courses across the world, and they're paying you to do it. I mean, how cool is that, right? And that's the difference between a hobby and doing it professionally. Doing it professionally, you get paid, right? That's the difference. And so, in that the ideal situation where you can actually get paid to do what you like to do, wow. Yeah, that's the dream life, right? That's what we're talking about. Instead of having to pay all this money, because hobbies, they'll eat into your budget, and it's just a hobby, is I'm just doing it for fun. But now when you do it professionally, you actually get paid to do what you like to do. That's where it changes. That's where everything it starts to flow, right? So treat it like a business where you can actually get paid to do what you enjoy doing, and it will pay you. All right. So final thoughts on your honor. Okay. Commitment means staying loyal to what you said you were going to do long after the mood you set it in has left you. So key, because typical, right? That's what happens. We say we're going to do something because we felt motivated, we were excited, and then all of a sudden, a month later, we're like, got to keep going, right? Frank Sonnenberg said, when you make a commitment, you're giving your word and putting your honor on the line. When you enroll, right, you're saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it at least a year, right? Hopefully more. I'm going to go no matter how hard it gets, whether I get sick or I'm feeling good. Whether people are joining me or people are quitting on me, doesn't matter. I'm going to keep going because it's about your word and your honor. And then you expect that from your people too, right? You tell them, hey, this is amazing. We're going to do awesome here. We're going to make money, but I need your commitment, right? I'm going to be bugging you. I'm going to be calling you. I'm going to be setting up Zoom calls. I'm going to be on your tail. I'm going to be making sure that you're having success here. Are you okay with that? Right? Let's commit. Let's do it. And you tell them, even when you're feeling down, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be lifting you up. Let's work through this together. And I expect you to lift me up on the days where I'm feeling down, right? And let's make it happen. So, like Gary Ryan says, if you make a commitment, honor it. If you make a promise, keep it. If you set a goal, achieve it. Simple as that. Black and white. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's make it happen. So, team, this is what it's all about, right? Commitment on your honor, doing it, being there, not giving up, not quitting, not just deciding, oh, you know what? No, it's I'm too tired today. I'm not feeling up to it today. You just do it. And if you do, you will have success. You will find that financial freedom you've always been looking for. So thanks for joining me today. Hopefully that was helpful and inspirational and motivational. It was for me. And next week, we will talk about step number 5 and all about personal development. So I'll let you get back to your Saturday. Thanks so much. I'll see you on the next one.